Hey everybody, thank you so much for listening to This Movie's Gay. We have a doozy for you this week.
We've been saying that every single week.
They've all been doozies. This one is All Cheerleaders Die. And we actually, I'm Corwyn.
My name's James.
And we have a special guest with us today. My friend...
Lauren.
Lauren, do you have anything to plug? Let's get this right out of the way.
No, I don't do anything except cry over fictional cowboys, so I'm good.
I thought you said beforehand you play a video game. What's your handle? You don't need to say your handle.
We're not going to do that.
We're not providing her handle. It's fine, everybody. Just know that she cries about fictional cowboys and also Fantastic Beasts. It's fine. All of it's fine.
Percival
Totally
Graves
fine.
deserved better.
So, can I just... Okay. We had a problem finding a movie today. We had one selected. We could not. It's 0 places to stream, even 0 places to illegally obtain.
Not that we do that because that's illegal.
I mean, we've said on one podcast that we had to get one illegally. So we
pay
do
for
that.
Things. We pay for
the recent ones we've paid, even though the one we did obtain illegally, I would love to own that on DVD.
I mean, I thought you were going to order it, just straight up, so that you could play back that, stabbing eye scene over and over again.
Oh, I don't want to see that stabbing eye scene. I want to see when that throat was wide open.
Good, you just need the first 15 minutes.
No, that's the first 7.
What movie is this?
Oh, Hellbent.
Oh, okay.
Hey, listen to episode 1 if you haven't yet. By the time this episode is out, episode 1 will be out.
Yeah, it comes out tomorrow.
Of recording this. We gotta bank these babies like Lloyd Banks. We're banking them.
It's fine.
Will this podcast have a crossover with G-Unit fans? I don't know. Corwyn.
Yes.
Will this podcast bring in G-Unit fans?
I have no idea what that is.
Oh,
hun.
Corwyn, you're such a white-ass nerd.
Okay.
The Super Sentai podcast, though, there's one person who gets even my most, what I think is obscure rap references. He is getting them, and I'm blown away. I referenced King Gordy, and he said, you blew me away by referencing King Gordy. And I just messaged him back saying, you blew me away by getting my reference of King Gordy.
So much blown away.
So much blowing.
Yikes.
Okay,
yes.
I would like to say this is going to be hard for me to goof on or really say any notes besides this movie is fantastic. It is wonderful. I loved this movie.
And for reference, we're watching the newest version of All Cheerleaders Die. There is an original. We're watching the remake from 2013, 2014.
Yes. 2013.
Yeah.
2013, the year Nicole and I started dating.
Rotten Tomatoes is 2014. And I'm like, no, that's all these things say the year before.
That might have been when it got a theatrical release.
Yes,
so
I
it
think
could be based off from that.
Anyway, I am glad that this movie actually, we didn't talk about it in any of the other movies, but this movie is the first one we've watched that actually has any person of color in it.
Does it?
Yeah. The first 3.
Does it?
Sort.
Were they?
Better than the first 3.
Wait.
My first note is the cheerleader Lexi of color?
No idea.
Because
I hope she is.
Might have been coded as slightly Latina.
Maybe. I don't know. There's a lot there, but basically the whole point of it is I would like more LGBT filmmakers to include people of color because our community is diverse and our movies should be diverse as well.
On Lexi, I prayed that she was, or it would be just cringe-worthy appropriation. I was like, oh no, why is she? I really hope this isn't the entire movie.
But she died in the first 7 minutes.
And that was the crack noise they made when her head falls on the ground. Ugh.
I think that was her neck snapping, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think she fell on her neck. And it snapped. Probably, rotated all the way backwards. One of those good, nice visuals.
But okay, let's give a brief synopsis of this movie. Who wants to do it?
Oh, can I just quickly say there was a person of color in the gay bed and breakfast of terror, Manfred. He was a slug race.
He was a slug man. I don't think it counts, but okay.
Wait, what?
We'll get to that.
Watch the movie.
You'll watch the movie.
It's only $1.99. Venmo,
Vimeo. Okay, so brief synopsis. Basically, the movie is starting out in high school. Cheerleader dies. Another girl comes to join the cheerleader team. She's got some kind of weird vibes about it, like she's gonna take revenge or something. She seduces the cheerleader captain girl, whatever her name is.
I think it was the blonde co-captain.
Yeah, she
whatever.
Tracy.
Yeah, she seduces Tracy. They get together. The football captain dude gets jealous, murders all of them by running them off the road. They come back as zombies through this witchy girl that was dating the lead chick. And then they all murder each other. And the witchy chick is the one that, lives, I guess, with the lead. Yep. Everyone else dies. It's good. Sorry for spoilers.
No, they have to It's all spoilers, this show.
All spoilers. But I didn't warn them, so...
Hopefully by the 4th episode, which is what this is, they will have figured out that it's all spoilers.
If it's a movie discussion podcast specifically about one movie, we're going to give spoilers.
Exactly. Okay, so let's get into things about the movie. So when I was looking this up, it said that it was super queer, which there were a lot of like queer themes and things that were nice to see.
Two girls kissing is not
it was, I feel like more it was like drawing on the revenge for, like, there was a rape in the movie, and it was drawing more on the revenge of that. And there's a lot that I think it pulls from, but also I'm no expert on lesbian culture, so no idea. Hey,
from a old episode, I'm an expert on lesbian
you
culture.
Are. You said you were. All right.
I'm kidding. It was a joke. I said, I don't know if all gay scenes in porn are actually gay people, but I know for a fact if two ladies are kissing, they are lesbians, as a joke.
Anyway, I thought the movie was good. James thought it was great.
Amazing. I think on Amazon you can only watch things once after you've rented it.
No, you can watch it.
Then
I think you have a whole day or two.
Well, it says I think you have 10 days to watch it, but after you've started it, you only have a 48-hour run with it.
Yeah, something like that.
Because I think Nicole should watch this. It's great.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was a good bloodbath.
Yeah, there is a lot of like body horror and stuff in this. So if you haven't watched the movie and you don't care that I spoiled it, and you wanted to watch it, there are some like kind of grody scenes that all of us were like about. So just be wary of that. But overall, I did really enjoy this movie.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. Lots of chicks kissing, if that's your jam.
Oh, and guess what? That's my jam. No, I was hoping I guess Corwyn, you don't know that my nickname is Jams. You could have pointed at me, finger guns and said, and that's my jams.
Boom, boom. That's his jams. Yeah. But the lead in this is clearly queer in her relationships and everything. So that's where we're going for this movie, I guess, with the LGBT watching. Yeah, I have very little notes for this movie because it was just like up and down and a wild ride.
I didn't read the synopsis for this. So I thought this was a slasher movie and not a zombie movie. So I was expecting New Money is what I called her. What was her real name, though?
Maddie.
Yeah, the main character.
Yeah. Also, there's Lexi, Tracy, Terry, Maddie. They all end with Y's or I's.
And he has all the names. This is a new day.
Then there's Hannah, Lena, Corwyn is thrilled that I know all these people's names. The only person I don't know is the tall lady.
Bible one.
Oh,
I think it was
sister?
like Marsha. Or,
Yeah, I think it was like Marsha or Margaret or something
No, it was-
puritanical.
It was like Marsha. Yeah, or Marsha or Martha. One of those.
I think it was
two.
Martha. Yes, Martha.
So yeah,
Don't
Martha.
say my mother's name.
Martha.
I haven't seen that movie, guys.
You didn't miss much.
That's what people
Ooh.
keep saying, but
With
I
the
want to...
exception of the introduction of Wonder Woman, which was beautiful. But
Gal
other than
Gadot.
that, you didn't miss. She still needs to eat like 5 cheeseburgers, but that's a personal preference.
What do you guys think about Suicide Squad?
I didn't see that.
It's so fun.
Okay,
Watch it.
let's get back
I'm good.
to our movie. All Cheerleaders Die. Okay, what were your notes? Your very little notes, James.
Oh, I have a lot.
Oh, I thought you had very. Okay, I've got very little.
Lexi says in the beginning, the ass crack of my run.
Yes, that was really weird. I
And
don't understand.
I said, I'm so glad the movie changed. The opening is so hard to follow. It felt like a miscombobulated random assortment of clips.
Well, it was her.
It was her student
filming.
film.
Oh, man.
The opening was her student film, and it ends when Lexi lands on her head and snaps her neck in half.
And it felt like the last movie we watched. Just
And then
student film.
And then there's like this really unclear like time skip.
Oh, yeah. I was writing notes and I had to ask these two, hey, wait. Did we get like 2 days later? Because it felt like it was 2 days.
They didn't actually say. I think that the first, like when you first start, it's like the end of their junior year.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the summer.
Yes.
It just said, all it
2
does
days
is,
before
2 days before senior year is
well,
what
we
it says.
know it's at least before 4th of July of that year.
Yeah. So it must be
But-
the end of the
But
school year.
Yeah. Okay, good. Because that's when football stuff start. Would there still be cheerleading during that? Well, I guess if you're basketball, but they were transitioning over to. I think that was in June. I really think that Lexi got her face smashed in June.
Are people still in school in June?
It depends on your
no,
district.
it's
Oh my God.
No, there. Oh wait, no, there were people in school. Fuck, I
Yeah.
was thinking. Oh no, Corwyn, that's when they do football practices.
It was probably like right before the end of junior year where
Yeah.
things were like
So
Yeah.
being tied together. I don't know when football season. My school had no football team.
None of us
so
know
I don't
anything
know.
about sports.
Wait,
so if
no,
anyone
I do.
knows,
I know about hockey.
If anyone knows what year they or what time they
Knights.
think this
I only
movie
knew
took place, tell us.
my school's marching band. This is the only reason I'm familiar with it. That is a nationally ranked marching band. It's in
Mine too.
Yeah, Reese Puffer High School. Do you know of them?
No.
Okay.
Mine's Munford High School.
Oh fuck, Mumford. Those were our rivals.
Ah!
No, I'm kidding. I don't know. But from my house, even though it was very far away, I could hear the marching band start to practice. So I always knew, well, if they're practicing, so are the football players.
Oh. Okay, so yeah, it opens discombobulated student film. The cheerleader dies. Then we have that. Yeah, it's a hard scene to watch. Like
You
it
don't
is
really
very
see
different.
it.
Yeah.
You more so
It just-
hear the
Well,
crack.
But then she like
And then
plays it
screaming.
over. She like
Yes.
plays it over again, like in slow motion. She's like, "Oh, let me look."
Not
through
even
this.
slow motion, by frame by
frame by frame.
Yes, frame by frame.
She needed to see the exact moment
yeah,
her friend's
it was-
neck snapped like
was-
a fucking pretzel.
Yikes. And then we also have some weird witchy girl sort of stalking her
She was a cat
ex-girlfriend.
lady friend with raccoon makeup.
Cat lady friend with raccoon makeup and crystals, which were actually magic.
Yes.
So that was cool.
I wrote down magic is real, much like in real life. I'm going to say this on every podcast that I'm on. Magic is real. What illusionists, air quotes illusionists, are telling you is a lie. when they say, oh no, these are just sleight of hand illusions. No. It's real magic. The lie is the lie. Magic is real. Watch Magic for Humans on Netflix. You will see. How does Justin Willman pull out a full coffee maker from a bag and then pull out a smoothie maker from the same bag? It's a backpack, guys. Magic is real, just like in this movie.
I'm laughing so hard at his magic rant. I love it. Yeah, magic's super real in this movie, and it's crazy. These aren't your typical like eat human brain zombies. They're zombies that like sort of make someone bleed and then they absorb the blood through their crystals.
Which I loved a lot more because it's less disgusting.
I mean, the first time they kill someone, there is this really awkward like orgy chew on this guy's flesh scene, and then they start glowing and the blood just disappears. So it's like they weren't quite sure how they wanted to go with it, and then they finally got their shit together is what I got from it.
Also, they're biting
great.
on that ankle.
Yeah, chewing on that ankle. Get that ankle meat.
Scrum nom 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 nom.
I think his name was Larry.
Yeah, Larry.
Chewing on Larry's ankle meat.
Larry.
Larry died.
I was thinking he was going to be a lot more perverted than he was kind of tame.
I think he was in the original movie, because I sort of read a little bit about this, and I think the first one he was more like super predatory, and then that was what led to his death. I mean, he was still kind of creepy old guy, but she was also like grabbing his hands and things like that, but he was also not backing off like, hello, you're in high school, no thanks.
Did he know that she was not as an excuse, but did he know?
No, but she's like super young and like half naked. Like,
I mean, I wouldn't want someone like that walking into my house.
And she walked into his house. Like, that's clearly a sign of, something is
Spanish.
Something is wrong with her. Like, if anything, something is wrong with her. So clearly don't come up and like let her like put your hands all over her.
Well, yeah, because she was bleeding and had a shiner because Terry decked her in the face.
Yeah,
yes.
Which Terry was super creepy. And you mentioned that they did a really good job of making him a villain, which I do agree with. He just was so like weirdly obsessive and like just creepy.
He was irredeemable and he had nothing good about him, and I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed how that bled over to all of his relationships. He was a shit person to literally everyone around him.
Yeah.
The only person that didn't like just sort of, I mean, the stoners didn't really abandon him. One of them just, kind of died right away. The other one was his like, right-hand man, but he just, sat there and watched him get murdered.
The blonde kid who, they murdered and stole his bike. He was the only one who was redeemable, who was like, oh my God, we have done a wrong thing.
And she murdered him. But he also, like, it was also one of those things where he was trying to, go and save them when Terry made their car crash, but he didn't like follow through with anything. He didn't.
Well, he was held back.
No,
he was held back, but like there are other things that you could do.
No, he was asking, hey, I would like to help you. The only way he could have helped is by allowing her to get power from him by drinking his blood. So I think he did what he set out to do.
Yeah, he did. He accomplished his goal. He is a hero in their eyes. He's dead, but he's a hero.
Is his name Vic?
I think his name was Vic. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember.
I also wrote down, I forgot my note. I wrote boys on the cheer squad and exclamations. They were on the cheer squad in like the beginning discombobulated video, and then there was no mention of them ever again.
Yeah, they probably got freaked the fuck out and said, oh, you can get murdered while being a cheerleader? No, thank you.
I mean, they were doing some like, I guess they were doing tosses during the cheer tryout, but they weren't involved in the story in any way.
Or they feel responsible for that death, or they got charged for the death, and that's why they aren't in the movie anymore.
They murdered the cheer captain.
I enjoyed how they were very, very determined. Like the cheer squad called themselves bitches, and the football team were dogs, and they kept that running. They legitimately kept that theme going because the way Terry treated his underlings was very much like the trying to be at least a pack alpha. Like the way he grabbed the back of their necks and ruffled their hair.
That was part of what his character did that it just like completely turned me off to him, and like I was like, I don't like him.
It turned me on to him.
But y'all kept calling him daddy, and I was not happy.
He was a bad daddy. But when when he started grabbing the neck, I saw Lauren out of the corner of my eye. It looked like she was grabbing Corwyn's neck, and I said, "Are you grabbing his neck?" And she goes, "No, I'm not. I'm not going to get that. I don't know, close to him. Just grabbing his shoulder."
That's too much into someone's business, and
and like grabbing the neck is just that's such a like domineering thing that I'm like that. I didn't like it. I was like, nope, I would punch him.
That's how he directed
yes, please.
them. He literally he grabbed the back of one's neck and directed them. And you saw when Vic quit the football team with "Are you wearing your sister's clothes now?" and got called a pussy by his
really
coaches.
Weird.
Yeah, 3 old dudes.
Yep.
Get out of here.
He got tackled out, and he goes, "I'm not gonna let you quit."
Yeah, Terry was just like, he was awful, and I'm so glad he died.
I wish he would have. Oh, I was gonna say I wish he died in a more terrible way, but
same.
Then at the end, we're just gonna jump right to it. Lexi reaches out and climbs through his dead body from the grave, which was
she's a
great.
rotting corpse.
Yeah, she's been dead.
Yeah, that witch needs to get a control on her powers because she's like reviving everybody. She's too busy crying over her girlfriend that broke up with her, and then she stalked.
Except when they are brought back to life in that first day and she busts in, she was looking fabulous.
Yeah, she was. Like, they were like the cheer squad going forward, except for the little sister in the mascot costume.
Which was actually the older sister because there was some body switching going on there.
But then she takes the mascot thing off later and she's in a cheerleader outfit.
Yeah. They did good with that scene, like having them walk in, like that's when Vic was like, "Oh, I want to talk to the teacher," and be like, "Oh, I think we murdered a bunch of cheerleaders." But right before he did that, they all walked in, and he's like, "Oh my God!" And everybody was like just looking at them, and all the football players were just like kind of staring into the distance, like, "Oh, I can't! Don't make eye contact. They'll murder me."
I knew that was going to happen. Vic wasn't, his name might have been Mickey, but they were calling him Mick, which is kind of a slur. So I don't want to say that.
I think I thought they were saying Vic.
That's for Victor? Yeah, I guess.
I have no idea.
I could have swore they called him Mickey at once. Let's call him Michael. There we go.
Just call him Blonde Boy.
Was that Bo Burnham?
Bo Burnham.
No, that was the little brunette.
No, Bo Burnham was the blonde boy.
Oh, I don't remember.
He was just in the shadows. He just has like that face.
That sweet freezer.
Okay,
yeah,
that's the one.
God.
Is it supposed to be cold in there? It's supposed to be cold, right?
Oh, it's cold.
Necrophilia, guys.
There's some. Yeah, one of the zombies has sex with one of the football players, and he's just like, "Oh, it's cold."
What's really? Have you ever seen Revenge of the Nerds?
No.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay, so you know that scene that's really controversial now where that's basically what happened because there was a body swap. So the younger sister was in her older sister's body and was in love with the boyfriend who did not notice her because I'm pretty sure the younger sister was like a freshman. So he's like, "You're cute and a child," and LOL, no, I'm with your older sis. So she basically was like, "Let's get wrecked." They had sex in the handicap bathroom, the scene after they leave, which is glorious, by the way. And while they're doing it, he's like, "It's so cold."
It's
because
a freezer.
She's dead.
That sweet, sweet freezer. But he might not have noticed her because she was in a freaking dog outfit most of the time.
But when the sister when the actual girlfriend confronts him in her little sister's body, he's like, "You're a kid and you're cute," but no.
Okay, yeah. So
he acknowledges he's completely not into this girl at all, but she's obsessed with him.
And she did take advantage of him with that. Like, since they body swapped, she took advantage of him.
And enjoyed this movie because there was that switch in dynamic. If you understand what I mean.
Those actresses were great.
Yeah.
They played both parts super well.
Yeah. The older sister, the bossy one, was very interesting to see like interact in this zombie dynamic, especially just because she gets murderous.
She, in their relationship, was actually maybe not the healthiest, but you could tell that she cared a lot for her little sister in her own shitty kind of way.
Yeah, she was like obsessed with her phone and stuff, but she would like stop and like braid her hair and like, you know, she said that she was cute and like all this other stuff. And at first I thought she was like sort of pandering, but I think there was like some genuine like sisterly bond there.
And she also didn't want people toking that sweet chibub near her little sister.
Yeah, she got on those stoners.
Well, it's like her sister was part of the cheer squad, and if you see like when she's in her older sister's body, she's just like awkwardly like crunching together pom-poms. So it's like her sister probably let her on the team in the only capacity that she could.
Yeah.
As the mascot.
All right, so we're saying the older sister is great. We love her. She's good.
Yes.
At first,
Murder.
I did not like her.
At first, we did not like her because she seemed very bossy. But she was mostly trying to keep the boys away, which was fine because they were murderous and weird.
Can we go back to the witch?
Yeah.
Talk about raccoon eyes.
First, her makeup. When you first see her, it's like she looked like a raccoon. And I don't know if that was her aesthetic or what. And then she makes her own clothes, which is cool. She stalks her ex.
Not cool.
Not cool. But in terms of their relationship, I mean, I enjoyed that it was not a cop-out in this movie. Like, there's something that was there, even though she's a stalker.
And we can infer that the reason that their relationship probably ended is because of
Terry.
Maddie getting, raped. So that like caused some issues with them, and Maddie was having some issues and wanted to get revenge, which she sort of does, but she gets everyone killed.
Well, she was in the beginning. She talks about she wants to get revenge on all of them because she says that Lexi wasn't happy. So there's something else there where that would have been addressed in the sequel that never was, where Lexi had issues. She talks about how they used to be friends. They went different paths.
Yeah, they took gymnastics together, so they were probably close.
In the 7th grade.
Yeah, but in the beginning, the way they talk to each other, they still have some sort of relationship, even though they're not on the same path, as she says. So when she goes to get that revenge, especially after the rape happens, and Blondie gets with Lexi's boyfriend Terry, she's like, all of this shit is probably fucked up. And yes, she died, but she probably, something else was going on there. So she did what she wanted. I also loved, I thought you were nice to me because you liked me. And the response, I didn't know you like a week ago.
Yeah. Which I think she sort of did start to like her. Which Tracy was a fun character in a sense. She was like sort of the mean girl, but then not. And then, especially when she turned into zombie, she was just like, I'm just going to straight up own this. And she went to the neighbor's house, murdered him.
From pre-zombie to post-zombie was me not liking this character to me loving this character.
Yeah. And well, when she first stood up to Terry and got punched in the face, which was
can I just quickly, on a quick, not tangent, but still somewhat a tangent, that scene, that entire scene from when Terry shows up before they wake up in the morning, it's such an amazing, intense scene. And like I said, I didn't know how this movie was going to turn out. And it was amazing. It was so good. Yeah,
that scene, that fight and everything, I was on the edge of my seat, what is happening? Who is going to die? Who's going to be the zombie? Because I didn't read all of that part. I just knew that zombies were involved. So I was like, what's happening?
Opening. That's how stressful it was.
So stressful.
And you see this and before when because her, whatever the main chicks and Maddie and the blonde chick.
Tracy.
Thank you. Maddie and Tracy. They make out prior to this conflict, and Terry sees them. Terry, you also get this scene with like the car following her down the street in the middle of the night with the lights off and the engine revs and so on and so forth. So your first thought is, Terry's gonna go fucking ham.
Yeah.
And it doesn't quite happen that way because Maddie urges Tracy to basically stick up for herself, and she does it in a very badass way. She's like, I'm not saying your dick's small because that's predictable, but you never made me come. Is basically what she says.
And she's like, and I did just 10 minutes ago with this chick. So
fuck you.
Fuck you. And then he punches her in the face. And then she's like crying on the ground and everyone's like, oh, that's fucked up. And Maddie's like, why aren't you guys doing something? You should kick his ass. He like punched a girl in the face. What the hell is wrong with you? Like, and then they don't. But Tracy gets up and runs and jumps on him.
Tracy was about to kick his ass. No lie. She was just done.
Yeah, I love that she did that. And then they run away and then they die.
They get driven off the road.
They get driven off the road by Terry, who is crazy.
But you kind of see, there's this little foreshadowing moment with the car. That's what I wrote. I was like, ooh, look at this little vroom vroom, which is harkens back to, very various like tropes of like killer cars and killers in cars.
Yeah. Especially like one of those, the car like he had, it seemed like it was very, I don't know anything about cars, but it seemed very aggressive. The car did, which a lot of those tropes tend to use cars that are more like, loud engine rev, things like that. And that's what, he was doing.
Another interesting thing about the car was it had Lexi's name as the license plate.
Well, yeah, you have to wait a year to get a new license plate.
I know, but it was like bedazzled and sparkles, and it was his car. So that brings in like another interesting part of that relationship that's never seen or explored, because even in the opening scenes, he's looking at Tracy in a predatory way, and then he's also looking at Maddie in the same vein.
Yeah.
So
and
what is their relationship? Because he's obviously fucked up.
Well, and that goes back to Maddie saying that, Lexi wasn't happy. There's probably something up with him, especially how he treats, you see how he treats the people on the football team. And he does it in a way that is predatory, but it seems like, oh no, he's just being a captain. But there's something wrong with how he's maintaining his relationships, and there's like an abusive side of that that he's probably exploiting with them. And we just see like hints of that throughout the movie.
And the scene with the fucking bear traps, like he just has those because that was before they wake up as undead. It cuts to the scene where he's shirtless sitting at a table after they've driven these women off the road. And he just has a collection of bear traps that he's fucking around with.
And he's like set those up in advance to take them to that place.
Wait, so I think this is great storytelling. They're setting him up as a predator.
Yeah.
Even before we know he was, that is his story arc, is he is a predator.
Yeah, and that's, I think, one of the big things that we like about this movie is that they do so well with making him a villain and making him irredeemable, where we're like, yeah, have the zombies murder him.
And he just gets worse and worse as the film goes on. And it's great because it's great. And he's like chilling because the actor did a superb job because his eyes just went dead.
Yeah, the dead eye was sort of freaking me out. I was like, nope, I would stay away from that one.
And he was also a character of color, and it's nice that even though he is in a villainous position, he actually has some very interesting depth and seemed more fleshed out than a lot of the characters in this film.
Yeah.
He was honestly one of the most intriguing ones. And just real quick, I loved the scenes with the witch and Maddie, because they'd have this moment and this soft music would play.
Okay.
This lighting, but it's like but Maddie's like drinking this girl's blood, and she's like, oh, I love you.
Yeah.
Drink my blood, baby.
Lena the witch is she keeps like cutting herself, and she's like, drink it. And it's just so off-putting in some ways. But then the music, and we've established that I don't know music.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about it is that every single time one of those scenes happens and it's Maddie and Lena, or I think it happens once with Tracy and Maddie.
It does.
It just like switches over to this like soft music, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because
like abruptly switches, and it's not done in a way that it's distracting. It's done in a way that it's like, oh my god, this is hilarious.
Because the music in this film starts off like, if we go to the beginning where it's like, is this first cheerleader a character of color? I don't know, because she's talking like one. It's like rap music and that weird like pop rock, and then all of a sudden soft melodic music with, again, a nice soft glowing background and this beautiful camera shots of their lips and all this other, like, basically just romance. It's straight up like romance tropes, and it's, bruh, you're having sex in a forest.
It's only done with the women that love women.
Yeah,
it's only done with that.
Mm-hmm.
I did put down that if you have a remix of an Ice Cube song, it's gonna be a big budget movie, guys. You can't get that was the opening song or it could have been a West Side Connection. Is that his group? Corwyn, is that his group?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Corwyn doesn't know music.
I don't know music.
Also, a cat got yeeted into a bookcase.
But it's alive. It got harmed, but it got revived.
Literally.
And it didn't get turned into a zombie because we never see it eat anything, so it's fine.
It literally got yeeted into a bookcase.
Oh, I'm laughing. It's terrible.
So this movie does a great job at foreshadowing, except I said guarantee a zombie, because we didn't know how this movie was going. A zombie's head will get crushed in those weights.
I said it was like Final Fantasy, and I'm at
Yes.
Final Destination 2.
Which, hey, if you want to make fan art, do fan art of do Squall just smashing Cypher's head in some weights.
Also, I'd say there were a lot of flat butts in this film, because there were a lot of pool scenes.
A lot of like partial nudity and stuff. There is like sort of that gaze that's like, oh yeah, let's look at all of these young women, because there were shirtless dudes. I forgot.
There were shirtless dudes. They were
for 2 seconds.
Bikini clad women, and so it felt like a very male centric film. And then again, you get the romance like you have with Terry and Tracy, whatever her name is, Tracy and Maddie. When they first make out, it does feel like, oh god, this is just some queer baiting, shipping. But then their quote unquote relationship kind of develops, and it becomes a little more than that. And then you see the relationship between Maddie and the witch, and
she asks for consent.
Yes, there was consent.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
lovely.
I mean,
beautiful.
we didn't get a direct yes, but it seemed open.
She goes, "Is this okay?" And then they go back to making out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But her hand was wandering down to the pubis mound.
I'm gonna rip out this.
What?
Said gonna rip those out?
Yes. Oh. Yeah, ripping out pubes is a thing on this podcast.
This is like the third episode we've mentioned it. Please don't. Let's just stop. It ends here, unless it happens again.
Did we mention it on the Gay Bed and Breakfast of Terror?
I think so.
When he was shaving himself, I just said, hey, just rip those out. It'll go faster.
Lauren is so confused, and it's beautiful.
I also had to say the amount of orgasms in this film for women was top notch. I gotta say.
Yeah, they shared orgasms
every time they fed. It was literal just body quaking, falling to the ground. Like you think that she got punched in the stomach. Nope.
Yeah,
orgasm.
It was that was fun.
Or when someone's ice box is getting rocked.
Oh my god!
Necrophilia,
is it supposed to be that cold?
It's
no, but
like
really.
A freezer.
That sweet,
I got in that
freezer.
Got in that sweet freezer. What are you talking about?
That sweat
You know that freezer. It's supposed to be cold, right?
Vic was so confused.
He's like, what? Man, what? Get out of here.
If this was a truly campy horror movie, they would have just had a hair dryer on her vagina saying, I gotta warm it up for him.
Oh my god. That would probably be time number 2, but never gets to that point because he gets murdered by
Hey, can I just say a quick something? Hey, Mom, I just saw you called, but I'm recording a podcast right now. She's going to hear this.
She's going to hear it in like
3 weeks.
In a month.
Oh, yeah, 4 weeks.
Yeah. So overall, I think the movie was good. I did say at one point, when the older sister, when she was in the younger sister's body, murders that boyfriend, she like throws him. And I was just like, this is Twilight.
Oh, yeah.
It just like does the scene where they're like, it reminded me of the scene where they're like running and jumping through the trees, but it's just him getting thrown into a tree. It was beautiful. I loved it.
Twilight would have been out by now, right? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Super popular at the time.
The most popular movie in the world.
Sure, we'll go with that. Yeah,
Can
totally.
we watch Twilight on this podcast?
I will consider it.
I'm kidding. We don't need to.
But first we have to watch, what was it, Chasing Amy?
Oh, yeah. In the first podcast, I told Corwyn that my favorite LGBTQ movie, it's got to be Chasing Amy.
Oh, jeez.
But then I also said meatspin.com.
You did say meatspin.com, and you said it was still up.
But it gives you viruses.
Like it should.
Oh, one thing that was also interesting was they did like the trope, like the high school was called Blackfoot High.
Yes.
And so I was expecting, and they're talking about zombies and, cheerleader dies, and then there's the death in the fucking creek with the low water. I was honestly expecting, the trope of the Native American revival kind of witchcraft deal. And I'm glad that they didn't go with that. They went with the chick who does magic in like fucking trig class. In trig class.
She was floating the crystals around.
I saw that and I was like, can you not do magic in the middle of fucking school? Like, come on, man. Other people are learning.
I love that the like skateboard dudes that are just like the nerds in the corner that no one pays attention to, and they're just like, he was like, she was floating shit with crystals.
Magic is real.
Yeah, no, okay, Terry pays attention to them.
Terry only pays attention because he's like, oh, he was in class with the Wicca girl.
Her stupid Wicca bullshit.
Yeah.
I like your masculine voice, Corwyn.
Are your jimmies rustled?
Wait, so speaking on the skater kids, when he's seeing the witch
orgasm?
girl have an orgasm.
Yeah, the orgasm was hilarious. I loved it so much.
They're just like watching her.
They were like dug down. They were like, yeah, doing a good job, girl.
That's it.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, the other thing is,
for it.
It was just so
it was
good.
coded as an orgasm, but if you see that happen in public, you would probably think that something was seriously wrong, because they just fall to the floor almost immediately.
Except in Hannah's body. Hannah's body is she's legs are spread like
she was definitely
onto the ground.
And
that's why people were laughing at
Presenting.
her, saying, "Oh, why you having an orgasm in the middle of school?"
But I think the funny thing about them seeing the witch girl is that they had literally just seen her floating rocks in class, and they're like, oh yeah, go for it.
Were those the same guys?
It wasn't.
Yeah,
No,
it's
it was
the same
one of the guy. It was one guy.
And then his friend that he was talking about it to.
Also the
who was
vape
just
queen.
like, whatever.
The fucking vape queen.
Yeah,
Vape
she could
queen.
blow smoke rings.
Yes.
Oh, Tracy.
Yeah, she was a
Yeah.
fucking
So
vape
cool.
queen. And the stoner was like over there coughing. Also, that kid looked like Sid. It was unfortunate.
You said Sid, like Sid from Toy Story.
Yeah, Sid from Toy Story.
When you said Sid, I was like, Sid the Sloth? Yeah, definitely looks like Sid the Sloth.
Even I thought that too.
It was just really unfortunate. And he was a bad stoner because he couldn't even hang. Like, he's coughing and she's just fucking shotgunning and shit.
She's blowing smoke rings in his face. She's stabbing him with her crystal.
Well, that's why he was coughing so much. He was getting the amount of 2 smokes from the rings and what he's blazing on.
Okay, we'll go with that. But she still stabbed him with her forehead crystal, which was great.
Yes, and that, what I called the blood facial, because that's when all the orgasms are happening too, and she just gets a facial of blood on her.
Well, the reason the orgasm was so intense was because Hannah was getting it and there was a blood facial.
That makes sense.
So she's like, someone fed and someone got done or whatever.
She said
she said someone fed and someone fucked.
Yep. That icebox got rocked, as you said.
Yeah.
That icebox. Yikes.
The pussy is cold.
It's supposed to be cold, right? I have no idea. No clue. I'm lost. It's okay. Yeah.
It is.
That was good.
Corwyn, it is supposed to be cold.
I
don't know enough to dispute that, so I'm just gonna.
Do you know basic human anatomy? Do you know how organs work?
I know.
Well,
I know.
You know how
I'm aware.
Okay,
Are
so
you sure?
if you hold my feet right now, they're cold, but sometimes they're warm.
In Russia, did you know that if you sit on the ground, women can't sit on the ground because their ovaries will freeze?
Okay, I was waiting for you to finish what you were going to say, but then
face when she did that.
I was thinking, no,
that was a thing. That was a thing. That was a legitimate headline or something a couple years ago about
learning with Lauren
about how Russian women should not be sitting on the ground.
Russia doesn't seem to like women.
Russia doesn't even like itself.
Oh no, Russia. You got to get out of there, Russia. Listen to me. Russia.
Papa Putin.
If you're listening to me right now, get out of there. Hey, and guess what? You can immigrate over here to America because you're white.
Oh.
Ching.
Our president will be fine with it.
Yeah.
That's the acceptable kind of immigrant.
Yep.
Hard times.
Anyway.
Just so everyone knows, I was throwing shade at our presidency. I'm not a proud boy over here.
Throwing major shade, which
also,
is good.
I really loved the Venom cameo with the blood, because the blood was attracted to these stones, and it was just oozing.
It's
oozing everywhere.
Oh, well, on the blood facial, that vortex that was coming out of his head was top-notch amazing.
Yep.
That's so okay. So she killed the stoner dude with the crystal in her forehead.
And then it
came
flew
out
back.
and smashed through his skull and then came back into her head. That's why I was so confused that Terry was able to kill them by taking out their crystals and stuff.
But if you
I was
notice, he was holding it. There's this whole scene where it's literally I want to go back, and he's holding, and then he fucking swallows it.
Which doesn't make sense because it dims out. Then it should just be a normal crystal.
But remember, it only lit up when they were feeding.
Yeah.
It wasn't lit up all the time.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, now that he's trying to get this crystal, it's going to attack him. But it didn't attack him. Anyway, does anyone have any final notes or things about that? Overall, my thoughts of the movie is really good. I think everyone should watch it. There are, a couple of scenes where you're like, oh, why is this happening? And some body gore. But other than that, it was very enjoyable.
It wasn't enjoyable. Have you guys seen My Bloody Valentine?
I have not.
With Jensen Ackles?
Yes.
I would put it up there with that kind of slasher film almost, because it was, and the relationships that they created in it were actually pretty decent for a tropey horror film.
Yeah.
I loved it. I also have, can I rattle off my many other notes? I did come up with some names for people right off the bat, but then I had to stop writing them. I think I only wrote down 2. Maddie is new money because I said, this girl got a credit card over the summer. Lena, I was going to call her Kitten Witch. Tracy is covered in snot when they first kiss because she's crying. I said it's a bullshit crystal reading, that first one with Hannah, when it's, this is you, this is someone you're close to, and this is someone who is close to them. And I forgot that she was dating the boy that she liked, but it's still a bullshit crystal reading. The bean-shaped crystal was glowing, which, the bean, it's like the clitoris. They're laughing away from mics, just so everyone knows. Do a vocal laugh so people know you guys weren't just stone-faced looking at me.
We're just stone-faced. We're just straight up staring at James how dare you?
How dare you talk about the clitoris?
The bean?
Clitoris?
Bean is a sacred Chicago artifact.
That's what I was about to say, too.
Okay.
That needs to be protected at all costs.
The punching scene is crazy. We got through that. This is not the movie at this time that I thought it was going to be. For real, I joked, in my head, I was like, oh, he's going to hit this lady. And I was thinking, of course they're not. Then he does, and it was fucking intense. Oh, when you guys commented on how Lena was screaming, pulling them out.
She was just screaming the entire time, and she did a great job of it. Oh my God, just so much shrieking. I'm like, hun.
And I just wanted to say that, of course she's screaming. She's a homebody witch lady like a cat. Cats don't like water. Ask my kitten, Frank. He's not a kitten, guys. And he's also not mine. He's his own property.
He owns you.
No, I'm my own property too.
Tell that to Frank.
Oh, Frank's sleeping in a cupboard right now. He doesn't care what I do as long as I feed him at around 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. He's cool with it. We also got she or he with Larry said your head is hot. I don't remember, but then she was cold. Shouldn't she have been?
I think he was talking. I think her head was hot because of the crystal.
Oh,
maybe.
yes,
so, like,
yeah. Oh,
right
that's where
her,
the crystal is.
Oh, that was also when they first woke up.
Yeah.
And so she's like throwing up and shit in the sink.
Because she ate real food.
Yeah, she was drinking milk.
Real milk, not that goat's milk. Well, there's nothing wrong with goat's milk. It's delicious.
Then she fingered his jugular.
Literally shoved her finger through it.
Oh, and they looked up when they were eating Larry at Lena and just like, thank you for the dinner, mommy. What else do we have? Oh, this should be the last thing we talk about because Lauren commented on it a lot. The freshman's makeup.
Oh, geez, the makeup was in this film was insane. So you see the cheerleaders and they have, what you would class as normal-ish makeup. You got raccoon eyes. When you first see her, the witch, who literally has black rings, not even like smoky eye. I'm talking like she took a fucking stick and was like, yes, just black it all in.
I enjoyed it.
And then you have these freshman girls who look like, in the 80s, where you see those childhood pictures or those 80s movies with like the high rouge and the weird high hair and the lipstick that's blue. And it doesn't quite match, but you're like, I see what you're trying to do, hun. All you need is a little more practice. These freshmen came in looking just like that. And I'm like, I understand this is 2013, but still.
I think they were trying to just really drill it home that these are freshmen who don't know what they're doing.
And
then Terry was so creepy, again, making him a predator.
He was predacious. He's like, think of all the new pussy that's opening up to us.
Yeah,
he was like, and he listed off like like the theater kids, band geeks, all this other stuff.
The goths.
And then he mentioned he was like, and the fat girls.
They
and it was
have
just
potential
like,
too.
I hate him, but I enjoy the character portrayal, but I also hate him.
Hey, Corwyn.
What?
You have people dressed as Jason Voorhees. You have people dressed in jumpsuits and masks like Michael Myers, fedora and sweatshirts, just like Freddy Krueger, slug boy sleeping bags like Manfred, and guess what? Now we have gosh darn Terry's. I want to see more Terry's next Halloween.
Please
because
don't.
What was interesting again about this film was not the supernatural element was there, but the driving factor behind everything that happened was human, and it was Terry. And that was so interesting because that's not usually how it happens. It's someone gets murdered, like, Jason, and then his soul comes back, or Friday the 13th. You know what I'm talking about. And it was all legitimately because Terry's a garbage.
And even the
human.
The supernatural stuff, they established the supernatural and was always grounded within that supernatural realm that they created. It didn't seem like, well, how the fuck is this happening now? It was all, hey, these crystals, she put a spell on them. They make people come back to life. And that's it, really.
Yeah. It her losing her girlfriend, sort of woke up her
and the
it was
moon.
Weird. It was a lot of weird stuff, but yeah, they grounded that the magic in this was real, and we saw that it was real. We didn't guess oh, how did this happen? Is it something crazy? No, we saw it is straight up real. But yeah, that overall great movie. Thoughts, Lauren? Final thoughts.
I would recommend this movie for a late night if you don't, with your friends, especially some popcorn, some booze.
Yeah.
Or even at 12:30 in the afternoon on a Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah, this movie's great. Watch it.
Okay. Yeah, movie's great. Plugs.
Yeah, what you got to plug? This will probably be coming
real
out.
Quick, and it was actually pretty gay.
Yeah.
So yay for that.
Yeah. We did not know in the beginning if this was, and it fits our theme. This movie's gay.
Yes, and it did not consist solely of white people.
One token black guy.
We would like more diversity in our movies.
Possibly
please.
Lexi, guys. Possibly Lexi.
Please send us suggestions for more diverse LGBT movies, specifically of the horror genre, because those seem to be hard to find.
Also, if you made one, I said it last time, and you want us to do your movie on this podcast, give us money. We will.
Okay. My plug, saltboxtheatre.org. Please follow my theater company and watch our shows and things. Thanks.
I just like
Red
Dead Redemption. And
yeah. Okay.
I don't.
What about that gamer tag? I'm kidding.
I have a Tumblr too. No one needs to know about that.
Okay. My podcast, Mostly Speaking Sentai, do with previous guest Nicole, episode 3. We talk about the Super Sentai series. We sit down with people who have never seen the show, and we finally have a reason to introduce them to it. I pick out shows specifically for that person who is watching. We have a blast. Most of them say they love it. Some of them just say it's interesting, but they probably wouldn't watch it again. But they're never upset with me. Also, by the time this comes out, I believe it'll be out. What the Hell Mouth I do with our friends Anissa and TC. It's a Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast where TC loves it. Anissa hates it. I've never seen it. That's the dynamic we've got going on that podcast.
You've never seen Buffy?
No, I've seen the first episode as of yesterday of this recording. But now I get to see it for this podcast. Now, I'll get there. You gotta check it out. It's with my buds, Courtney and Monse. It's just an hour and 15 minutes of us bullshitting about embarrassing stories within our life, but they're funny. Marshland Monster 2, check that out. I rap. It's 3 words, Marshland Monster. I've said it before. You'll enjoy it the first time you hear it. You'll say I'm really good, but you'll have no desire to listen to it again. Also, mostly playing PlayStation on Twitch and YouTube. I'm playing Spyro, Ripto's Rage. I've beaten that game 50 times. Are you frustrated of having to go back to Glimmer, the first stage you're on, and because you can't get that last orb because of the climb ability? Well, guess what? I teach you how to do that without the climb ability, so you never have to go back to that level again. And it's really just me talking the entire time, trying to fill every single second with my voice. Nicole loves it. I asked her to be a guest on it and said, no, I believe I will damage the product that is this beautiful gem of you bullshitting for 25 minutes.
Amazing. All your plugs?
I mean, I might have a 5th podcast out by the time this is out. Who knows?
We'll put it in the description. But also, please follow us on social media. Tweet at us. Send us movies that you want us to watch.
And that is at This Movie's Gay. I have the Twitter handle.
It is. We will be more active on there after the first one comes out. And yeah, please send us suggestions. Please listen. Please share us with your friends. You know, all of that good noise.
And I cannot stress this enough. 2 things. 1, magic is real. 2, if you want us to do your movie, give us money.
Yeah, and we're out. Bye.
See you guys later. I thought we were going to say, I've been James. I've been Corwyn. I've been Lauren.
Lauren.
See you guys.